Okay, my fiance just gave me the most needed rejuvenation that I could have ever asked for. So thank you, Dennis. We're going to keep pushing right along. I hope everybody has enjoyed the series this far. This, again, is the Aquarius season gift to each of the zodiac signs. Because I just felt like I need to just really give back at this time. So I'm super grateful. And as you know what this video is going to be about before I do. So let's see. We have got Sagittarius. Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, so Sagittarius. And right before I started this reading, my fiance just gave me so much good energy to keep going and to meet this. So I'm so excited to get to connect and channel with Sagittarian energy right now. This has been such a rewarding experience thus far. So pretty excited to just see what comes out for Sag. We've got card number 29, reaching into the unknown, and then card 10, the root. So I can already tell you, Sagittarian, your reading is about your future and about how it's connected, how we groundedly connect to your future, because at the bottom of the deck, you have the body, card number 1, the future. So let's look at 29, shall we? Reaching into the unknown. We are much more comfortable living within the boundaries of what is familiar to us. Even when the familiar is not what we want, we know what to expect. So we stay in that place because it seems easier than making choices that would lead us into unknown territory. Okay, Sag, what do we talk about? The most difficult time is when we know we need to make a different choice but are afraid of its outcome. Ooh, I know this is real for Sag. This card encourages you to choose outside of your comfortable discomfort, to stretch yourself beyond the edge, to go boldly into the uncertain. Once you do, the relief will be immeasurable, and the excitement of your now journey will catapult you into what is next. Sag, what did I just say? I really feel like when we're talking about your future, it's like Sagittarian has been sitting on this like, no, I know what I need to do, and I know this isn't working for me, and I know that this isn't even me. It's really the understanding, like it's like the awareness of like when you realize something isn't a reflection of you, but you created all of these very real ties to said energy, and we can be intimidated by how we are going to like correct that energy. And I know that can be a scary space, but hopefully this reading can provide some amazing motivation is what I feel like Sag needs to really tap into that. So let's see if I can get the root as well. Thank you for your patience, Sag. Let's see, the root should be coming up here. So this is your true foundation. Whether or not you feel as if you fit in any group or with a single individual, it is your sense of safety and the source of your courage, for this is where your basis of operating as a human being begins. To draw this card means that you are firm in your convictions and do not mind reaching deeply for more resources when you feel as if you are at your wit's end. Okay, so Aquarius season for Sagittarian is, I think there were things that were initiated. So for example, like if we think about the most recent Sag season, whenever you read this or watch this, Sagittarian energy connects to Aquarius energy because Aquarius fulfills the vision. So Sagittarius season could have conceived something, like you may have known it was time to move or make a change, that by Aquarius season of whenever this is, or whenever you could last reference this, it's almost like by Aquarius season is now the time where we're fulfilling that. Like now is the time to move your hand, because the future is really kind of the situation that's on the line here. You know what I mean? And it really says, it says, to draw this card means that you are firm in your convictions and do not mind reaching. So this is the difference, because you're going from reaching into the unknown to knowing. Like there's a part of you, Sag, that there have been things that you know that you've outgrown or that aren't real reflections of you that you've learned just through your process. And this is a really great thing for Sagittarius to also realize that, like, because we as a Sagittarian energy are so regarded for our higher knowledge, it can be hard to find humility when we're having teachable or learning moments, when we really are sort of in the student realm. And sometimes when these things are very public, like getting out of a bad relationship or quitting a job or moving and doing this or ending a business that really didn't have the vision that it needed to have, or wasn't really truly who you were, or whatever, or owning the actions that we've taken at a lesser consciousness. Like all of those things, when they can be really on display, I think for a Sagittarius can be difficult because we are so regarded as being the people who have created this whole image around knowing what's next, knowing how this works, and knowing and being a sound judgment. So when Sag finds themselves at their wits end, because it sounds like Sagittarian energy is like quite literally it's been at its wits end. So from things of literally Sagittarian season. So this might have been introduced to you like Sag season. It was like, yep, I'm really at the end of my rope with what this is. With this can't go any further. This is no longer going to be able to create. And now Aquarius season is like you're finally ready to move on that. Like you have the awareness that it doesn't matter how scary or how much the fear is on the other side of things, because you really know that like at the end of the day, like I can't. It doesn't matter what the consequences are. Like I have to move forward. Like you have enough evidence and sound. It's in your root chakra enough to make this move, that I feel like you've accepted it and you're ready to accept the terms of the future that you're creating. Especially when now you have grown to a point where you don't want the same things that maybe you wanted previously. So that's really a huge energy. And we're just going to read the body future card as well since we're here. Your body is programmed with an intricate set of instructions to be what it is. But you can change that. What is it that you mean to create in your physical appearance? How you feel, how your body responds to your commands. The first step to creating your future body is to accept the one you have now unconditionally. Once you are comfortable in your own skin, the rest is easy. This is also crazy because I think that this was also manifesting in the physique of Sagittarian energy. Like, this cycle, this ending, because it's something big. It's something that I feel like Sagittarian was creating that wasn't really representative. And this could be like reconnecting in an association that really doesn't fit anymore. Or this could be, continuing to push or barrel down a career pathway that is not really closely identifying who you really are. Or this could be a relationship that you continue to go to. So now that, I feel like Sag is also at parallels with their body. Like they're kind of at their wits end. Like you may be feeling that way about your physical vessel as well. Where it's like there are certain things that like this is the end of the rope. It cannot go any further than quite literally where it's at now. So just be cognizant of all of those things, Sagittarius, and be aware that that's kind of what we're going into right now. And it says the first step to creating your future body is to accept the one you have now unconditionally. And I think that that's really also a good way to learn from some of these things that we are now having to kind of have the universe intervene and let go of, because we can't create any more energy with. Like we're having to really realize and accept our role in relating and creating something like that when it obviously was coming to some sort of end. So I feel like Sagittarius, that's kind of the premise of where we've been at for a long time. But I really want you to reflect on your season, your most recent season, or the most recent Sagittarius season. You may not even be a Sag sun, but I mean, reflecting on, for you, if you've reached this video, it was like within Sag, from Sag season to Aquarius season, you've carried out a vision that says like, this is the end of that. It's like, I'm reaching into the unknown, and I'm willing and able to do that now because it's at my root chakra. Like I'm not afraid. I'm ready to actually make the change. And I feel like this is also really about Sagittarius being like, I am really ready to change my life. Which is amazing. We love that, for it to be actualized by Aquarius season is so, and there it is. I have the inspiration now to change my life. I am actually ready to take into my own hands and to not just run or hide behind the being the wisest, but embracing the fool archetype, embracing the student archetype, embracing that my wisdom needs to be reset. Like as the teacher, there's certain schooling that becomes outdated the more time that's passed, and it's really important for us to the death. Okay, because this is what I'm saying. All of these readings, the death card has really been talking about this major transformation. But I think the re-sparking in your life, Sagittarius, I feel like there's a relationship to your body right now and the condition it's in. If you were really heavily identifying with, like I said, your identity was in a partnership or in a job sector or in, a hobby or an interest or in a friend group or in a family dynamic. Like you really are being at your wits' end is now allowing for you, going through this and transcending this allows you to really reconnect back to that fire within, that wise fire that has been cultivated through harnessing your Aries and Leo energy and really funneling that into the way to really change, you know. And I feel like I said, a lot of this has been connected to your appearance and has been connected to how you feel about your body. And if you want to see a future body, you start now with accepting what has been. And once you accept that you are already the inspiration, you only need to be inspired by you. You know what I mean? This is where you can find that renewable inspiration, and it isn't another person. And boom, there's 6 of Rods. Like, this is like all Sag energy. All systems are a go. Justice, you know what I mean? You were meant to be victorious. You are victorious. You are meant to have victory over the thing that is your flame. I feel like also this thing that is really, like I said, like you are ready and at your ends of, you know, like that you've learned all you can from, and it's time for that to really be done. When you get this Ace of Rods, it immediately leads you to the victory, because that's what the justice would be for someone like you. You are so victorious. You have this transformation of energy and inspiration. And I think, to be honest, the reason you know you're at your wit's end is because that thing, that institution, that person, that partnership, that relationship, that group dynamic, that institution, that old identity, that whatever it is, was quite literally like the thing. You're at your wit's end because the problem is Sag season, you got doused with all this inspiration. You got doused with all this, oh my God, I'm ready to really take it and go. And this thing is the thing that has been continuously, almost like as you're getting more inspired to go down certain paths of your life, it doesn't support that. And I think that that's what you're like, having this awareness of like, wait, I feel so successful in what I really care about, because this is really something that's actually inspiring for me. And the justice is that this is ending now, or I'm seeing that this is no longer compatible or a reflection of who I am at a root level, because it's proven. This is like as proven as it gets. Like, this is proven success. So if this thing can't acknowledge that renewal or that success within you innately and the way that you found victory in it, then it's not supportive or conducive, and justice will wipe it out if it's no longer, because justice is just about the balance of it. You know what I mean? And this is also the advice of the King of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. This is, okay, I really feel like this is partnership-wise. I think Sagittarius was connecting or identifying with something to give it aspects of itself. So, like, because what I'm seeing is you're finally seated. You got a king and queen, right? You got your King of Swords, you know who you are spiritually, and there's no bullshitting that. And then you also know who you are at your heart, how you give back, how you give love, how you give investments. So now that you're being all of that for yourself, there's no room for this other thing that was blocking you from expressing and being the self-actualized version of your inner masculine and feminine. You know what I mean? Like, this institution, this job, this business you have, these friends you have, whatever it is now in conflict, because you don't need it. You don't 1313. You don't need anybody else anymore. When you're in balance like this, when you're showing up as able to cover it all yourself, it's kind of one of those things where the whatever you were using to cope with whatever you felt less confident in yourself of, it's the kind of thing where it doesn't really even exist anymore. And then the Knight of Rods in reverse, interesting vibe. Hangman. That's what I mean, because I feel like here you are. You've got this intuitive inspiration that has inspired you to find the victory in who you are and actually feel okay. Like, I think that what you were connected to served its purpose. And I think Sagittarius really understands that, like, well, I have no real control in this, and I knew that going into this situation. But what I did know is that it did serve its purpose in transforming me. I am able to identify a Knight of Rods in reverse, you know, something that is eventually going to, through higher consciousness, not reflect who I really am or the value that I really have. And that is okay. And Sagittarius being okay with understanding that, well, when I planted that seed of authenticity, my goal was to grow into this version of myself that could seize my own wand, claim my own victory and rule over whatever I'm creating in my life in balance with divine and masculine within me. I don't need anything else to complete that. And then there's this ability to, and then that allows you to identify what it was in you, the runner chaser paradigm, the unrequited aspect of what was going on for you, the reason why you couldn't give and receive love. You know what I mean? And I think that really makes a big difference here, and it's really changed your approach to relationships and to what you commit yourself to, because I feel like I see Sagittarius really spending a lot more time flowing in the future and feeling just okay about what they're doing, because you have so many reasons to feel successful that, like, just knowing that and being in that, we're going to clarify the Ace of Rods, is really all that it takes. Religion, the Ace of Rods, there is no religion higher than truth. That's clarifying your Ace of Rods, right? When you realize, Sagittarius, that, like, these people who, there's no knocking it. You were offered this, like, I feel like you were in things that were starting to not match your cycles either. Like, you'd be feeling really good about yourself, but, like, this thing that you're a part of or connected to is, like, the opposite of that, or not shown. So it was incongruent. And so the sort of the way that in religion it can kind of not match the context of what's going on, if not interpreted to apply. Religious aspects can just kind of be dogmatic like that. Like, it can kind of just be like, really, you're gonna hate on my Ace of Rods? Like, you can see that this is obviously an Ace of Rods. You can see that this is obviously what it is, that I'm obviously successful, but that's protection. It wasn't for you to try to force now to make this partner work, or this job work, or this business work, or this group of friends work, or this family work for you. That wasn't the goal. The goal was to be able to realize, well, there's nothing higher than truth, and the Ace of Rods is truth from God. It's your inspirational truth. You know what I mean? It's the magic of who you are. Six of Rods, which is beauty. Beauty emerges when form reflects eternity. And you realize, Sagittarius, like, this thing started really hating all the parts of me that felt really eternal. When I started getting healthier, this started going the opposite way. Or the only ones who ever had shit to say were the ones who didn't like to see me becoming more of who I was. And why was I attracting that? Why was I wanting that energy? Why was I not wanting things around me that honored the beauty that emerges from the most authentic part of myself? That's what Sagittarius was really running through and understanding. And this King of Swords is the self-actualization. The self is hidden in the deepest caverns of the heart and nature. Sensitivity to a fallen leaf is more important than all the passing examinations. And that is what this King of Swords in you. You don't need anybody. I feel like Sagittarian was running on some also really archaic ways of life that are just outmoded, which is ironic. Again, I feel like for Sagittarius, it's, you're the wise sage, but you're really needing to update your playbook. It's like, yeah, man, I can help you. Like, I can set you up on a date, but you have not updated to, like, the norms or where we've evolved as people. Like, I think you're so used to playing the archetype of, like, providing wisdom and insight and, like, listen, if it's anything I've learned about being everywhere as a Sagittarius, this is what I can share. And I feel like that was getting kind of out of touch, and you were watching yourself kind of fade into oblivion, and you're realizing, I have an active role to play in my relevancy. Like, a Sagittarius can get irrelevant real quick if they don't have the humility to understand that you are always welcome to be the insight and the counsel in the space, but you also have to keep living life. And when Sagittarius takes itself out of the rink because we put something else at the source of our life that isn't the point of our life, then we lose all autonomy. We don't go after or do anything that we need to do. And that's what this Queen of Pentacles is really reminding this King of Swords, is like, we got to source it from us. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, life vibrates. It does not move. So also, Sagittarius, when you're watching some of this unfold and you're paying for the karma of however this is unfolding in your life, because again, we are talking about spirit had to move this, an Ace of Rods had to come. This sort of spiritual saying, okay, time's up. Like, new inspiration comes in so that it's going to cause the friction, whatever you don't want to experience. If you're not vibrating at the same space as something that you're clutching onto, it will get moved. It will not be blasted in your reality anymore. And you have to take the accountability for, that's how the nature of this world really works. And so it's one of those things where the Ace of Rods really comes in as God being like, all right, Sagittarius, obviously you weren't wrapping up this cycle, so I'm going to wrap it up for you with some new inspiration. So it's not a punishment, but the punishment will be that the person or the thing or the whatever, the company you're keeping that's supposed to celebrate you in this Ace of Rods doesn't feel it because they're not vibrating the same way that you are. And so this was about Sagittarius really being aware of the future and the connection to the body and the vessel that they want to have in this new world. As I said, future, the card that came out is literally the future card. So the Knight of Rods, all of the future is ours as children of the universe. So after this, it kind of sends this, you kind of send this Knight of Rods packing. Like once you, because I think it'll and that's what I also feel is like Spirit's like, it's not even going to come as, because I feel like Sag has had the harsh breakups. It's had the harsh, like, it knows that all too well. So this is where you allow the universe to just move something out of your path. This doesn't even have to be confrontational. It's just that the future is ours. I'm taking responsibility of my future through natural separation. Like the Hangman says at the bottom of this deck here is like, this thing will naturally move out of my sphere because my focus is completely on reaching into the unknown. I've found new aspects of how to work my body and feel better about myself. And I realized that this other thing was representative of a too archaic and too heavy of a consciousness that I don't have anymore. So I feel like Sag is really, really stepping into that existence and is also going to get to have this kind of thing get moved for it because it's just not vibrating with you anymore. And I'm really excited for you, Sagittarius, to have that experience. And I'm really excited that you know the difference between the Knight of Rods in reverse, which is an in and out player energy, like an energy that is unrequited, to say the least, and is not honoring what is really desired by any party involved. And once that pineal gland activates and once you really feel it in your root chakra and that energy hits like what your intuitive action you're going to take, I mean, everything changes. So I'm so excited for this Aquarius season for you, Sagittarius. We love you. We are so glad that it's starting to click and you're starting to move your hand and make a choice because you are ready and you're confident to do that. So congratulations to you, Sag. Much love.